Happy New Year everyone! Isang mainit-init na balita, no? Bago matapos ang taong 2022 ay inilabas na ng Sandigan Bayan ang kanilang desisyon tungkol sa mga kasong isinampa sa late Chief Justice Renato Corona. Sa 48 pahina, ito ang kanilang naging desisyon. Bago matapos ang taong 2022 ay isang katotohanan ang lumitaw. Isang pangyayari noong taong 2012. Isa ito sa mga bagay na kung saan ay tama ang naging desisyon ni late Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago. Isang katotohanan din na tama ang naging desisyon, naging hatol ni Senator Ferdinand Romualdez Bongbong Marcos Jr. na ngayon ay Pangulo na ng Pilipinas. Kung inyong matatandaan, 2012, nang ma-impeach si Chief Justice Renato Corona, sa kanyang 134 million forfeiture case o deposito sa bangko, sinabi ng kanyang mga kalaban na ito ay ill-gotten wealth. Idagdag pa rito ang 17 milyong ari-arian na hindi nito idineklara sa kanyang assets and liability o ang tinatawag na SALN. At bago nga matapos ang taong 2022 ay napatunayan ng Sandigang Bayan na walang basihan ang mga naghahabla, ang mga kumukondena kay Chief Justice Renato Corona. Mayroong matibay na ebidensya ang dating Chief Justice na sa kanila at sa mabuting pamamaraan nito nakuha ang 134 million pesos na deposito nito sa bangko. Kasama na ang 17 milyong halaga ng mga ari-arian ng pamilya Corona. Sa makatwid, sinasabi ng Sandigan Bayan na mababaw, mahina ang ebidensya ng mga taong nagpabagsak sa dating Chief Justice. Subalit, kahit na napakaganda ng balitang ito, wala na si Chief Justice Renato Corona. Atin ding matatandaan na sa kabila ng mabibigat na paratang sa kanya, si Chief Justice Renato Corona ay tumindig, ipinagtanggol ang kanyang sarili laban sa mga humahabla sa kanya. Ating panuorin ang kanyang pagtatanggol sa kanyang sarili.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, the Lady Justice wears a blindfold for a reason. She is to render judgment based on law and evidence without regard to the circumstances and personalities of the parties involved. However controversial they may be, she is to dispense justice without fear or favor. We here all took an oath to do impartial justice according to the Constitution and the laws of the Philippines. And like Lady Justice, we are bound to do so without fear or favor. An impeachment trial is sui generis. But be that as it may, the Bill of Rights stands supreme over all the powers of government, including the power to impeach. And nowhere is this precept more apposite than in this case, where the government has mustered all the resources at its disposal, not only to secure evidence against the Chief Justice, but further to ensure his conviction. The crucial issues that have piqued the interest of the senator judges, as well as the public, were outside the original ambit of the impeachment complaint and have been brought forth only after its filing. Evidence on some of these issues came from questionable sources, beginning with the unidentified little lady to documents anonymously left on gates and in mailboxes. At the expense of the sub judice rule, evidence had been presented to the public on several occasions even before they were formally offered before this court. Worse, information was grossly exaggerated with the apparent intention to predispose the public mind against the Chief Justice. Notable examples would be the Land Registration Authority report with a discredited list of 45 properties and the unauthenticated AMLAC report claiming that the Chief Justice allegedly owned $10 million. Still, the Chief Justice sufficiently addressed the accusations against him with regard to the filing of his salad and the disclosure of his real properties and pesos deposits. Relative to his dollar deposits, the Chief Justice believed that he was under no legal duty to declare these deposits pursuant to RA 6426, which affords absolute confidentiality to all foreign currency depositors. This interpretation of the law is now being publicly criticized as flawed. However, it is known to all of us that quite a number of public officials construe RA 6426 vis-a-vis RA 6713 in exactly the same manner. In view of the ambiguous situation created by the concurrent application of the 1987 Constitution, the Salin Law, and the FCDU Law, and absent a determinative judicial pronouncement that resolves the contrary positions on this legal issue, the Chief Justice must be presumed to have acted in good faith. Indeed, it has been held that not all omissions and misdeclarations in the Salin amount to dishonesty. The framers of the Constitution intended culpable violation of the Constitution to mean a willful and intentional violation of the Constitution. Betrayal of public trust, on the other hand, was meant to be a catch-all phrase to encompass all acts violative of the oath of office or which render the officer unfit to continue in service. Both grounds, however, were contemplated to exclude unintentional or involuntary violations, errors made in good faith, and honest mistakes in judgment. Granting, therefore, that the Chief Justice violated the Salin Law, this certainly does not rise to the level of an impeachable offense. We may be faulted for erring on the side of conservatism, but what we are doing is nothing less than redefining the relationship between branches of government. And when such great affairs of state are uncertain, the resulting instability puts every Filipino's future in limbo. This is an important, delicate, momentous event, and because of that, we should tread very lightly. We must be very, very careful and very, very fair in making this decision, because what we do today will reverberate throughout our social and political history, affecting generations beyond ours. When the furor has died down and this political storm has subsided, I know that like Lady Justice, we shall find solace in the fact that this decision, though maybe not popular, was fair, impartial, and just. On the arguments presented and on the ground that the presumption of innocence has not been overcome, I vote to acquit the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court.
At yun na nga mga kaibigan, mga katungkod, isa si President Ferdinand Romualdez Bongbong Marcos sa mga bumoto para ma-acquit sa mga kasong ibinibintang kay Chief Justice Renato Corona. Mga kaibigan, tandaan nyo pa ba ang dahilan kung bakit isinumbong at sinampahan ng patong-patong na kaso ng ill-gotten wealth si Chief Justice Renato Corona? Noong panahon ni late President Simeon Aquino or Pinoy. Isa kasi si Chief Justice Renato Corona sa nagbigay ng justice sa mga magsasaka sa Hacienda Luisita. Ipinag-utos ni Chief Justice Renato Corona na ang Hacienda Luisita ay pag-aari ng mga magsasaka at hindi ng mga Cojuangco Aquino. Inuutos ni Chief Justice Renato Corona na ibigay na sa mga magsasaka ng Hacienda Luisita ang para sa kanila. Ito marahil ang isa sa mga dahilan kung bakit ginawan nila ng paraan upang ma-impeach si Chief Justice Renato Corona. Ayon po ang pinakang mabigat na dahilan. isa sa pinakamabigat na bintang, isa sa pinakamabigat na paratang na ginawa ng administrasyon ni late President Benigno Simeon Pinoy Aquino.
Oh, hindi mo ba naisip na magiging ganon ang consequence niyan? You're not an Ateneo Law graduate and you're a lawyer.
I just forwarded the documents as
You
they
are an
came.
automaton. Sino ngayon may kasalanan? Prosecution o ikaw? Answer me. Look in my eyes. Look me in the eye.
I have no fault here, Your Honor.
Ah, wala ka. O, di sila.
I'm
Ano
not
yun sa
saying
dalawa
that
yun
either,
eh?
Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
I'm not also saying that, Your Honor.
You're not saying that. All right. What are you saying? Whose fault is it? Someone is at fault here.
I wouldn't know, Your Honor. As far as
I commend your ignorance, Mr. Administrator. As an example to all others who should not be as ignorant